It was the 5th year of my marriage to Vanessa. In her rush to meet her secret love, Vanessa forgot to turn off the gas stove. Our daughter, Lily, was left home alone. The leaking gas ignited, causing an explosion. When I arrived, Lily was covered in burns. Vanessa, busy and tangled with her lover, hung up on my calls. Lily didn't make it out of surgery. And my dear wife, Vanessa, brazenly barged into our home with her lover. She not only insulted me, calling me a crippled loser, but also scattered Lily's ashes. When the firefighters finally rescued Lily, she was barely clinging to life. Sobbing, I took Lily from the firefighters' arms and, with my limp, rushed to the ambulance. Faster, faster, drive. My voice trembled uncontrollably. The nurse swiftly administered painkillers to Lily and cleared her airways. Looking at my daughter, her body covered in burns, I felt utterly helpless. The air was thick with the acrid smell of burning flesh, the result of intense heat. Lily's clothes were torn and charred, revealing the raw, blistered skin beneath. Dad. Noticing Lily's eyes flutter open, I leaned in close, tears streaming down my face. Lily, what is it? Her small face was contorted in pain. Daddy, Mommy said. She was going to make Lily something yummy. Mommy left Lily alone. The food smelled funny. Lily wanted to turn off the fire. Where did Mommy go? Daddy, Lily hurts, so. I watched as Lily's voice trailed off, her body suddenly convulsing before falling limp, a single tear tracing a path down her cheek. Lily. I frantically called her name, desperately trying to rouse her. The doctors quickly wheeled Lily out of the ambulance, and I followed close behind. At the emergency room doors, a doctor stopped me. Sir, please wait outside. The door slammed shut in my face, and I collapsed to the floor. Please, let her be okay. I closed my eyes, silently praying. Suddenly, Lily's words in the ambulance echoed in my mind. Turn off the fire, the gas stove? My eyes snapped open, and I trembled as I dialed Vanessa's number. Once, twice, 3 times. Ethan, what do you want? Stop calling me over and over. Vanessa's furious voice erupted from the phone. Suppressing my rage, I demanded, Vanessa, where are you? You left Lily alone. Vanessa interrupted impatiently. Enough. She's not just my daughter. Weren't you supposed to pick her up today? I'm busy, don't bother me. Who's that? A man's voice came through. Nobody, just some cripple. Vanessa replied, her voice dripping with disdain. Lily, Before I could finish, she hung up. Further calls went unanswered. My hands clenched into fists, my nails digging into my palms, oblivious to the pain. I remembered how deeply I had loved her. Vanessa and I were childhood sweethearts. I had loved her since we were kids. 5 years ago, Vanessa's family company, the Miller Corporation, faced a financial crisis, teetering on the brink of bankruptcy. Mr. Miller approached my parents first. The children are all grown up now, and they've known each other since childhood. Perhaps we could arrange a marriage between them. My eyes couldn't hide my joy. Considering we were both of marriageable age, both families agreed on the union. At the dinner that evening, Vanessa reluctantly attended. She got completely drunk in front of both our families. Amidst the awkward atmosphere, I offered to take her home, allowing our parents to discuss business matters in peace. Mr. Miller was beaming, saying they had found a good son-in-law. I knew in my heart that he didn't approve of me, because I had a disability. My left leg was congenitally malformed. If it weren't for the Miller family's dire need for help, he would never have married his daughter to someone like me. That night, Vanessa called out another man's name while we were intimate, and I willingly surrendered. Click. The operating room light switched off. Snapping out of my reverie, I stumbled to my feet, awaiting the doctor's verdict. I'm very sorry, the resuscitation failed. The doctor shook his head at me. I could barely stand. We did everything we could, but her condition was too severe. I couldn't hear anything the doctor said after that. My ears were ringing. It wasn't until Lily was wheeled out, covered in a white sheet, that I finally lost control and wept uncontrollably. All the arrangements at the crematorium were completed by the following evening. Watching Lily being slowly pushed into the cremation chamber, I heard my mother's sobs and my father's comforting words. How could this happen? How could it suddenly catch fire? My mother sobbed uncontrollably. I closed my eyes, took a deep breath, and said, Dad, take Mom to rest first. I sensed my father wanted to say something, but he ultimately nodded and left. The police investigation confirmed my suspicions. A gas leak explosion had caused the fire. Just then, A text message popped up on my phone, showing another $3 million withdrawn from my account. Vanessa. No doubt she had bought something else for her lover. I gripped my phone tightly, my eyes bloodshot. Afterward, I called the bank and froze Vanessa's supplementary card. Shortly after, Vanessa called. I answered. Ethan, you call yourself a man. Freezing my card, what kind of stun is that? Don't forget, this is all you owe me. You made me live like this. You murderer. Rapist. Have you forgotten what my father said to you before he died? You betrayed our trust. Do you have no conscience? You've crossed my line. Vanessa screamed hysterically. I sneered. Line? Your line is treating me like an ATM and then running off to your old flame? Vanessa, if you don't come back right now, I promise you'll regret it for the rest of your life. I hung up and blocked her number. Vanessa had always believed that our family had killed her father. At that time, it wasn't only Miller's company facing a crisis, but also our own, the Hayes Corporation. However, because our financial foundation was stronger than the Millers, we could weather the storm. Knowing the Millers were in trouble, and being in-laws, I begged my parents to provide $20 million to help them through the crisis. That was the most we could offer at the time. But it wasn't enough. Mr. Miller, unwilling to ask for more, worked tirelessly, day and night, collapsing several times. Around that time, Vanessa found out she was pregnant and cried and screamed about wanting an abortion, threatening to go to Mark, her lover. Mr. Miller refused, slapping her across the face. You ungrateful wretch. That Mark. He's only after your money. He even took those photos of you. Threatened me with them. You don't know what's good for you. Impossible. You must have forced him. Mark loves me too much. Vanessa then turned and pointed at me, shouting, and you rapist. If it weren't for you, Mark wouldn't have left me. And this child, aren't you afraid it will be born like you? Another cripple. Remembering her drunken state that night, I chose to remain silent. I didn't have a part to play. Mr. Miller raised his hand to hit her again, but as I tried to intervene, he collapsed to the ground. Mr. Miller didn't make it to the hospital. Perhaps knowing his time was near, he grasped my hand and said, Ethan, Vanessa lost her mother when she was young, and no one taught her. She's been a trouble to you. I know your family has helped us so much, but I still want to shamelessly ask you to take care of Vanessa. With that, he passed away. Dad, you murderer. Rapist. You'll pay for this. Vanessa hysterically screamed at me. Vanessa ultimately didn't abort the child. Even though I had told her I respected her choice. I took care of her meticulously, hoping she would eventually be moved. I didn't expect that after giving birth, she would rush off to find her lover abroad. There were large daily withdrawals from my account, ranging from hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars. She said it was what I owed her. Looking at my babbling daughter, remembering Mr. Miller's plea, I chose to endure again. Hey, are you Ethan Hayes? A man's voice suddenly sounded behind me. I turned around in confusion, realizing I had forgotten to close the front door. You're Mark? I asked uncertainly. Mark raised an eyebrow in surprise. Oh, you know me? I was stunned for a moment, then limped a few steps forward, glaring at him. Get out. Oh, ha 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 ha. You really are a cripple, Mark mocked. Suddenly, 3 or 4 people appeared behind him, all carrying weapons. What are you doing? Seeing this, I clutched Lily's urn tightly. I had just retrieved Lily's urn today and unexpectedly bumped into Mark. Mark said viciously, What am I doing? Why did you freeze Vanessa's card? She was about to buy us a bigger house. The card wouldn't work. You're so cruel. You've been holding on to the Miller Corporation, haven't you? You coward. Give it back to Vanessa. I was dumbfounded. What was he talking about? When Mr. Miller died, Vanessa didn't know how to run the company, and the board of directors were vultures. I tried to help several times, but Vanessa always cursed me away. Eventually, the company was on the verge of bankruptcy again, and Vanessa cried and begged me to do something. Under pressure, I acquired the Miller Corporation at a high price, making Vanessa the largest shareholder. I had been diligently managing it for years, but not only had Vanessa squandered the company's money, but now I was being accused of needing to return it. I scoffed. Even a dog knows gratitude. Seeing my reaction, Mark furiously kicked me. I fell to the ground, quickly checking Lily's urn. Thankfully, it was wrapped in cloth and wasn't damaged. What the hell are you saying? Beat him up. What a piece of trash. Crippled bastard. Mark waved his hand, and the thugs behind him rushed forward with their weapons. I clutched Lily's urn tightly, glanced at the surveillance camera above, and pressed the alarm button on my phone. What's going on here? Mark, darling. Vanessa entered, frowning. Vanessa, you're here. I wanted to vent your anger. I tried to reason with him, but he called me a dog. Mark held Vanessa's hand, looking aggrieved. Ethan, are you insane? Vanessa looked at me impatiently, waving the thugs away. She pinched my chin. Ethan, you look even more like a dog now. What valuable thing are you hiding? Give it to me. It'll be perfect for Mark's new house. Vanessa swiftly snatched the urn. Because my arm was injured from the earlier beating, I couldn't protect it in time. I heard a crash as the grayish-white powder dispersed into the air. Vanessa, that's Lily's ashes. I roared uncontrollably, my whole body trembling. Who called the police? Several police officers entered the doorway, and the thugs immediately threw down their weapons and put their hands behind their heads. Vanessa stood frozen, unable to comprehend. What are you saying? Impossible. This is impossible, Vanessa mumbled, shaking her head. Mark, seeing the police, walked over and patted Vanessa. Vanessa, what do we do? The police. Vanessa pushed Mark away and lunged at me, grabbing my collar and screaming hysterically. Ethan, what the hell is going on? It's you, isn't it? You killed Lily. I'll make you pay. The police immediately pulled her away. I looked at them, gritting my teeth, and said, Officers, they broke into my house, assaulted me, and scattered my daughter's ashes. I want to press charges for trespassing, assault, and desecration of a corpse. Come with us. The police were about to escort them out. Vanessa was still screaming and struggling wildly. Vanessa, you left our daughter home alone. You didn't turn off the gas stove, and it caused an explosion. When I arrived, Lily had just been rescued, covered in burns, screaming in pain, calling for her mother. I choked, unable to speak. Go to our house and see, the whole place is almost burned down. Lily was just rescued. Vanessa, I shouldn't have let you take Lily. Since Lily's birth, we had lived separately. She occasionally took Lily to stay with her for a couple of days, but I never expected this to happen. Vanessa stopped struggling, her eyes filling with tears. Deal with this first, then come to the station to give a statement. The lead officer looked at me sympathetically. I nodded weakly. Seeing the ashes still floating in the air, I couldn't hold back my tears any longer. Because of the injury assessment and hiring a renowned local lawyer, Mark and his accomplices were convicted of unlawful entry and intentional injury and sentenced to 3 years in prison. Vanessa, for desecrating a corpse, was detained for 15 days. Mark yelled that he would kill me when he got out. Vanessa continued to blame me for not letting her see Lily one last time before the cremation. I scoffed and motioned for my lawyer to hand her the divorce papers. Vanessa, I've been more than fair to you all these years. 2 days later, I held a grand funeral for Lily. I bought the best plot in the cemetery. My parents wept inconsolably, and they also learned how miserable I had been these past 5 years. After the wedding, I had taken over the family company. I used the excuse of wanting my parents to enjoy their retirement to let them travel the world, but in reality, it was to better support Vanessa. After the funeral, I knelt before my parents. Mom, Dad, it's all my fault, I'm sorry. Over the years, the company's money had been continuously squandered by Vanessa. Although I had tried my best to maintain the company's financial balance, I hadn't brought any profit to our own company. Son, it's not your fault. If anything, blame us. Your father and I knew about Mr. Miller's plan all along, and we still let you marry her. Son, this card has $200 million. Your mother and I saved it for you. Since you're getting a divorce, start over and run the company well. My parents quickly helped me up. I looked at my parents gratefully. Parental love is profound. I was blinded by my emotions. After about half a month, I had just finished a meeting and was walking out of the company. I saw a familiar figure in the distance. The person seemed to see me and jogged over. Honey. Seeing the curious gazes of my employees, I frowned. Get in the car. I looked coldly at Vanessa, her hair a bit messy, probably just released from detention. Vanessa immediately said happily, Honey, I knew you wouldn't abandon me. She wrapped her arm around mine, snuggling close. I suppressed my disgust and pushed her hand away. Even the driver's mouth twitched. In 5 years of marriage, she had either called me by my full name, Ethan Hayes, or just Hay. When had she ever called me honey? After getting in the car, Vanessa still didn't give up, trying to snuggle into my arms. I pushed her away again. Have you signed the divorce papers? Vanessa's expression stiffened. Oh, honey, that... I tore it up. Honey, I know you can't bear to divorce me. I'll have my lawyer send you another copy. The Miller Corporation will be mine, the shares will be yours, and I'll give you the cash equivalent. I closed my eyes, my tone cold. Suddenly, I felt warmth on my lips. I opened my eyes abruptly and pushed Vanessa away. The driver was startled and coughed. Vanessa, what are you doing? Honey, I was wrong. I was really wrong. I know you've done a lot for me. Let's start over, okay? I don't want to be alone. Don't leave me alone. You're all I have. Vanessa was anxious, squeezing out a few tears. Vanessa, do you think there's still a chance for us? Now, when I see you, I feel disgust edition. I stared directly into her eyes, deliberately drawing out the last word. Vanessa suddenly became angry. Ethan, don't be ungrateful. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't be in this state. If it weren't for you, Mark wouldn't have left. If your family hadn't been so stingy and only given us 20 million, my father wouldn't have worked himself to death. If you had picked up Lily on time, Lily wouldn't have died. I was shocked. Even now, she still didn't think she had done anything wrong. Hopeless. First, I didn't make Mark leave. He took the money and ran off on his own. Second, 20 million was the most our family could offer at the time, and over the years, I've been propping up your family's company with the Hayes Corporation's assets, and you were the largest shareholder. Finally, my eyes widened, and I slowly leaned towards her. Lily's death, you better never mention it again. Leaving Lily to see your lover. You don't deserve to be a mother. Vanessa was frightened by my appearance, looking flustered. Ethan, have you forgotten what my father asked you to do before he died? He asked you to take good care of me. Otherwise my father's spirit in heaven won't forgive you. I burst out laughing. Vanessa, I pity your father for having a daughter like you. Oh, and about your Mark, do you know what he's been up to all these years abroad? Seeing that we had reached our destination, I signaled the driver to step out. I took a stack of documents from the glove compartment and slapped them onto Vanessa. Vanessa picked them up, puzzled. As time ticked by, disbelief slowly spread across her eyes. Impossible, you must have faked this. Mark couldn't be like that. Vanessa shook her head violently. Whether I faked it or not, you should know the truth in your heart. This sentence seemed to shatter the last line of defense in Vanessa's heart, and she broke down in tears. Mark, knowing she was the heiress of the Miller family, had used all his cunning to woo Vanessa. When he learned that Vanessa's family was on the verge of bankruptcy, he approached Mr. Miller, using her intimate photos to blackmail him for money. Then he fled abroad, becoming addicted to gambling. After squandering all the money, he contacted Vanessa again, and those intimate photos had long been sold to various websites. I opened the window, lit a cigarette, and waited quietly for Vanessa to finish crying. But she suddenly grabbed my neck, as if possessed. I was startled. Her grip was so strong, it felt like she was really going to strangle me. I couldn't break free. In desperation, I fumbled for the car door handle and pulled it open. We both tumbled out. The driver, noticing the situation from afar, rushed over to help me up. I coughed violently from the choking. Mr. Hayes, are you all right? The driver asked, concerned. I shook my head. Ha ha ha. Ethan Hayes, you bastard. Why did you show me this? Why did you ruin my life? Ethan, I'm telling you, those shares aren't enough. That's my father's company. All the shares should be mine. You think you can get rid of me with that little bit of money? Impossible. Vanessa scrambled to her feet, looking at me with near madness. What a lunatic. I stopped the driver from calling the police and looked at her coldly. Vanessa, you should know very well how much you've tampered with the company's accounts over the years. I didn't say anything, but that doesn't mean I didn't know. If we really investigated, how many years do you think you'd be sentenced to? And about Lily, I have plenty of time to fight you in court. Do you think it would be difficult to convict you of negligent homicide? I have plenty of evidence about you and Mark. Calling it adultery during your marriage wouldn't be an exaggeration, right? If we really went through a divorce lawsuit, what do you think the chances are of you leaving with nothing? Vanessa, converting your shares into cash is my last act of respect for your father. This is the last bit of dignity I can give you. Vanessa slowly lowered her head after hearing this, not daring to look me in the eye. Ethan, I turned and left, not wanting to hear another word from her. The next day, I arrived at the company, and my secretary handed me a document. I opened it, and it was a signed divorce agreement. A few days later, I converted Vanessa's shares into cash and deposited it into her account. A total of $50 million. Enough for her to live on for the rest of her life. After the 1-month cooling-off period, we both appeared at the entrance of the Civil Affairs Bureau. We didn't say a word to each other the entire time. When the divorce certificate was about to be stamped, Vanessa suddenly said, "Wait." I frowned slightly. "Ethan, I regret it. I really regret it. Let me stay with you. You can go out and find other women, okay? I won't say a word. I beg you, don't leave me alone." Vanessa cried, tears streaming down her face, completely disregarding the stares of those around her. If it had been before, I would have softened. But now, seeing her cry, I felt no emotion, only a hint of disgust. "Please, stamp it," I said coldly. Vanessa immediately fell silent, sobbing, not daring to say another word. Days passed, and the Hayes Corporation grew stronger and stronger. But from time to time, a package would be left at the front desk. At first, I would open them. They were from Vanessa. They often contained small notes, sometimes a few sentences, sometimes a long letter. "Ethan, look, I learned how to make Kung Pao chicken. Taste it, is it good? If it is, I'll make it for you often. Ethan, it's getting cold. I knitted this scarf myself. It's very warm, try it on. Ethan, the cherry tomatoes I planted are bearing fruit. They're very sweet. Look, am I getting better and better? Ethan, I miss you so much, you know? I dream of you often lately. I feel so lonely without you." Of course, I heard all this from the gossip of the employees. The first time she sent something, I threw it all away. Every time, without exception, it ended up in the trash. Later, I found it troublesome, so I asked the employees to throw it away for me. Some of them were curious and opened them, but I never cared. After all, it was her who was embarrassing herself. When I visited Lily's grave, I would often see various toys and snacks placed on the tombstone. I scoffed at this. I always had the cemetery cleaners remove them and then place the things I brought for Lily. She didn't fulfill her responsibility as a mother when Lily was alive, and now she was putting on a show after her death. Remembering the day Lily's ashes were scattered everywhere, my heart ached. That day, I picked up the ashes bit by bit, wishing I could rush up and kill them. 3 years later, it was Lily's death anniversary again. Vanessa stood brazenly in front of Lily's tombstone. Previously, she always put things down and then looked from afar. She was dressed in black, wearing sunglasses. "What are you doing here?" I asked, displeased. Vanessa was stunned for a moment, then forced a smile. "You're here. Please leave." My voice was already laced with anger. Vanessa gave a bitter smile. "I know you can never forgive me. Today, I'm here to say goodbye. I'm moving abroad." I calculated the dates. Yes, Mark was about to be released from prison. I snorted and said sarcastically, "Congratulations, finally you can be together. But you'd better keep a close eye on him. 3 years ago, when I sent him to prison, he threatened to kill me when he got out." Vanessa turned to look at me. Because she was wearing sunglasses, I couldn't see her expression. "It won't happen again. We won't be coming back. He's changed. He said he'll start a small business. He also said, thank you. Thank you for not holding a grudge and giving me a sum of money." Vanessa paused, then lowered her head. "Ethan, I'm so lonely. After leaving you, I wanted to start a new life, but everyone I met later didn't seem to be sincere to me. I know there's no chance for us anymore. I'm leaving with Mark." So what? Was she trying to get me to ask her to stay? I listened to her without expression. The atmosphere suddenly became silent. Vanessa knew I had nothing to say to her. She pursed her lips and said, "Goodbye." As she turned to leave, I swept away all the things she had placed on the tombstone. Her body trembled, but she ultimately left without a word. Later, I went abroad on a business trip. One evening, while attending a dinner party on a cruise ship, I saw Vanessa serving drinks to the guests. She looked haggard and much thinner. She saw me, straightened her hair awkwardly, and looked a little flustered. "Lo, long time no see, Mr. Hayes. Ah, is that your date? She's very pretty." Vanessa forced a smile. I nodded politely, not denying it. Actually, she was my secretary. Probably feeling she had made a fool of herself, Vanessa nodded and smiled, then walked away. Looking at her thin back, I knew that Mark had probably gone back to gambling. After the banquet, the guests gradually left. Just as I was about to leave with the crowd, Vanessa stopped me. Her eyes were vacant, and her voice carried a hint of pleading. "Ethan, can we talk?" Seeing Vanessa's helpless look, I pointed to a corner seat in the banquet hall. Her eyes suddenly lit up, and she followed me to sit down. "What's wrong? Not having a good time lately?" I asked first. Hearing this, Vanessa finally broke down, covering her face and sobbing softly. I watched her quietly. "Ethan, do you still hate me?" She didn't take her hands away, still covering her face, and asked softly. "Hate? I actually didn't know. So many years had passed, I should have let go long ago. Now, seeing her like this, I still felt a little sad for her. A young lady who had been pampered since childhood was now working as a server. After a long time without hearing me speak, Vanessa thought I hadn't heard. So she put her hands down, wiped her tears, and looked up. Ethan, do you still hate me? Vanessa's voice was much louder this time. I shook my head and said honestly, I don't know, but so many years have passed, I should have let go long ago. Ethan, actually, in these 4 years abroad, I've experienced a lot and thought a lot. I used to be willful and arrogant. I actually enjoyed your kindness to me, but Vanessa didn't know how to continue. It's okay, it's all in the past. We have to look forward. I smiled with relief. No, Ethan, I think I really deserve it. Mark initially said he would be good to me and start a business, so I gave him a large part of the money, but he lied to me. He went back to gambling, always saying it was the last time, always saying he would stop once he won back his losses, but he ended up losing more and more. When I didn't give him money, he beat me, and even wanted to pawn me off to them. As she spoke, Vanessa rolled up her sleeves, revealing various injuries on her arms. I looked at those shocking scars in surprise. There were bruises from being beaten, puncture wounds, and burns from cigarette butts. There were even self-inflicted scars on her wrist. I had found it strange earlier that Vanessa was wearing long sleeves, out of place with the other servers wearing short sleeves. You know, Ethan, I often regret why I was so cold and difficult to you, making you embarrassed, regret why I was so obsessed with Mark and just left Lily home alone. You were right. I don't deserve to be a mother. I don't deserve it. Seeing Vanessa's tears falling again, I didn't speak. I handed her a tissue. I understood. She just needed to vent. Vanessa took the tissue and cried even harder. I also regret why I left with Mark. You gave me so much money. I could have opened a small shop. I could have traveled the world. I don't know what was wrong with me then. I really wanted someone to accompany me. It felt like I was the only one left in this world. I was so lonely, really so lonely. Vanessa looked at the scars on her wrist, and her eyes gradually became vacant again. Sometimes, I really want to end it all. Mommy. Just as I was about to say something comforting, a young child's voice suddenly came from afar. Seeing a little girl running towards them, I noticed Vanessa immediately break into a smile. Lala, Mommy's here. The little girl threw herself into Vanessa's arms, sweetly saying, Mommy, I missed you so much. Are you off work? Lala's sleepy. Vanessa smiled and nodded. Almost off work. Then she looked up at the few remaining guests in the hall. We'll go home when the guests are gone. Is that your daughter? She's very pretty. I smiled at the little girl. From a distance, I thought she looked a bit like Lily. It seemed both children inherited their mother's looks. Vanessa picked up the child and sat her on her lap. Say hello to Uncle. Hello, Uncle. The little girl greeted me obediently. Seeing the child who looked 70% like Lily, I suddenly felt a wave of sadness. She looks a lot like Lily, doesn't she? I was stunned. I didn't expect Vanessa to say it out loud. I didn't think so when she was born, but the older she gets, the more she looks like her. Maybe it's heaven's way of making me atone for my sins. What's her name? Not wanting to dwell on the sadness, I quickly changed the subject. Vanessa smiled brightly. Lynn Annel. Annel, hoping she'll be safe and happy. Annel means peace and happiness in Chinese. Finally, before leaving, I stuffed a wad of cash into Vanessa's hand. If it were just Vanessa, I wouldn't have given it to her, but seeing the child, I softened. Vanessa refused firmly, until I said, the child needs to eat better. Seeing Lala's sallow complexion, almost 4 years old but smaller than her peers, I knew she wasn't getting enough. Vanessa thanked me, tearfully accepting the money and carefully hiding it. Watching the mother and daughter's receding backs, I sighed deeply and turned to leave. That night, I just got back to the hotel. An unknown number called. I usually don't answer unknown calls, so I hung up without thinking. I rubbed my stiff neck and went into the bathroom. When I came out of the bathroom, I found my phone constantly buzzing with text message notifications. I picked up my phone and saw 12 missed calls and over 30 text messages. I immediately realized something was wrong. Ethan, you dare not answer my calls. Are you planning to collect the bodies of Vanessa and her daughter? Ethan, you're so rich. Why didn't you give more? This little bit of money isn't even enough for one day. You're still hung up on her, aren't you, Ethan? You dare to cheat on me. Ethan, you better send me money quickly. The address is omitted. Or I'll kill the mother and daughter first. Then I'll kill you. I'll let you two dogs reunite in hell. There was also a video below. Mark grabbed Vanessa's hair, kicking and punching her. Lala was crying in terror beside them. So, you dare to meet your old lover. You've grown some guts, haven't you? You only got this little bit of money. I'll beat you to death. Please, stop. I can't take it anymore. Lala, don't cry. Let Lala out. You beast. Lala stumbled over to Mark, the tiny girl trying to stop it all. Mark kicked her away. Damn it. I don't even know if it's my child. Lala was kicked 3 meters away, hitting the corner of a table, and immediately fell silent. Lala. The video ended with Vanessa's desperate screams. That beast. He didn't even spare the child. I immediately called the police, then rushed to the address. Because the hotel was quite far away, when I arrived, the police had already surrounded Vanessa's house. Mark was holding a knife to Vanessa's neck, and a few drops of blood had already dripped down. Seeing me arrive, his emotions immediately became agitated. Ethan, you dared to call the police. I really regret not killing you directly when I got out of prison. I was surrounded by the police. After talking with the police, they allowed me to negotiate with Mark. I raised my hands and slowly walked towards him. Fine, you can kill me now. Since I'm the one you want to kill, how about I become your hostage? Mark roared, get away. Don't play tricks. I just want money. I only want money. I reassured him again. Okay, I've already asked my secretary to get the money. I'll give you another 20 million. Is that enough? Mark's eyes gradually became greedy. Seeing that it was working, I continued. But the child is innocent. Send the child to Lala's bleeding a lot. She's not breathing. Lala is gone. Ethan, Lala's gone. Vanessa, who had been kneeling on the ground like a dead pool of water, suddenly became agitated when she heard child. Mark also suddenly became agitated. Ethan, damn it. Why are you so concerned about this child? This child is yours, isn't it? Vanessa, you dared to keep a bastard by my side. You damn bitch. Bitch. Before I could say anything else, Vanessa suddenly started struggling for Mark's knife. Mark, you beast. I'll die with you. Bang. I felt the bullet was past my ear and instinctively closed my eyes. When I opened them again, both people in front of me had fallen to the ground. Everything happened too suddenly, making me feel dazed. Mark was shot dead on the spot. Vanessa's neck had been slashed, and the knife had also pierced her heart. Vanessa, with her last breath, begged me for one last thing. Ethan, please, take me and Lala back to our country. I don't want to stay here. I know. I'm beyond redemption. I'll repay you in my next life, as a cow or a horse. With that, Vanessa breathed her last. Finally, I brought the ashes of Vanessa and Lala back to our country. I bought 2 plots next to Lily's. Vanessa in the middle, Lily and Lala on either side. Perhaps in heaven, Lily would also forgive her mother. Lily and Lala would surely become good sisters. A warm breeze blew, making my face itch. Seeing the branches on the nearby trees sprouting new buds. Another spring had arrived. We must always look forward, mustn't we? The end.